This big furry fellow is Magnus. He's our new dog. Actually, he's our first dog. But before we called him Magnus, he had another name. His name was Van Frankie. And Van Frankie raced. Here you can see Magnus, aka Van Frankie, in the orange vest number 5. Magnus was born in Ireland and raced in places like Tralee before moving to England to race in towns like Hove, Sheffield and Wimbledon, before finally ending up in Glasgow. Here are a few highlights from his racing career.
Moving along shore, 5 Van Frankie and 6 harping on. Going the lee strand and 5 breaks well on the outside from 3 and 1 as they race towards the opening bend. Trap 1, Hornville shows great early pace into the corner and takes up the running around the opening bend from trap 5 Van Frankie. Then comes 3, Confident Puma down the back straight they go. 1 and 5 locked in battle at the halfway stage. Hornville out in front by a length and a half maybe from 5. Then comes 3, 4 and 2. Hornville at the 4th bend. Here comes trap 5 again. Van Frankie with another surge as they come towards the final bend down towards the second running line. 1 trying to hold up 5 on the outside. Van Frankie from Hornville is going to look close up to his left 5. Gets there from 1 and 3. Van Frankie will wait for confirmation. Van Frankie and 6 odd for TJ. 3 and quarter 5 to semi-finals on Friday, don't forget. We'll go for race number 9. 4 breaks well in the middle. 5, then comes 3, 1, 6 and 2. As they go towards the opening bend, trap 6 takes a bump there and it's 5 who leads into the second bend. Trap 5 Van Frankie up front from 1. Then comes 2, 3 and 6 with a lot to do as they go down the back straight towards the third bend. Trap 5 out in front. This is Van Frankie. By about 2 or 3 links over 1, they've pulled clear from 3 and 6 who race in 3rd and 4th position. But as they come towards the final bend, Van Frankie out in front from Move Along Sunny, racing down towards the second middle line. Trap 5 is not going to get caught here. 5 down from 1, very close to 3rd. Waiting the judge for 3rd place. The time 30:08.
Greyhound racing may be a spectacle, but it's also a business. A very harsh business. And when greyhounds start losing, people lose interest. Some of these dogs are put down, the luckier ones are rehomed or put in kennels. We found Magnus in a kennel, and this is our story of his new life from the racing track to our living room floor. Well, how did we end up with Magnus? We've been looking into getting a dog for quite some time, researching different breeds and all their different needs, going to the park and seeing how certain dogs behaved, what their demeanour was like. Then we came across the idea of a greyhound. But we couldn't own a greyhound. Don't they need lots of exercise? Don't they need lots of space? Then we found out this wasn't the case and that greyhounds make great pets. So then we researched how to get a greyhound and came across the Retired Greyhound Trust Edinburgh. This is a charity which rehomes retired greyhounds, and we thought this was a great way to get introduced to a dog. Also, every Sunday at 10 AM they have a walk where you can take greyhounds out for a little stroll and see how they get along with you and how you get along with them. We decided to proceed with our idea of a greyhound and contacted the Retired Greyhound Trust. They suggested that we come out for one of their walks on a Sunday. So early one January, we got in the car and drove out towards Liberton to go for our very first greyhound walk. Upon arrival at the kennels, we were greeted warmly by the staff, the volunteers, and those who attend the weekly strolls. We were then given a dog called Jimmy to take out for a stroll, which was lots of fun. The following week we took out a dog called Lily, and on the 3rd week we were introduced to this big ball of fur called Frankie. Frankie had just arrived from Ayr the previous day, and we were going to be the first people to take him out for a walk. He was quite a handful at first, jumping around and pulling on the lead, but he soon settled in and was a pleasure to walk. The following week when we returned to the kennels, we decided to reserve Frankie. That meant he was going to be ours for the next few weeks to decide if we wanted to take him home or not. At that point in time, we were also given the option to rename him. So we decided to find a name that was appropriate for such a dog. He had been kept outside and had grown long fur, unusual for a greyhound, so decided that plus his size, we think of an appropriate name, and my wife chose the name Magnus. We returned to the kennels for the next 3 weeks, taking Magnus out on his weekly walks through the countryside. Whilst there, we would chat to the other walkers of the RGT Edinburgh to ask them questions about caring and looking after dogs, from what they eat, when they eat, feeding habits, toileting, bathing, training, you name it, we asked it. But they were a great resource and we had a lot of fun learning more and more about greyhounds. As additional preparation for Magnus's arrival in our home, we picked up some leaflets from the Retired Greyhound Trust on dog care. We also purchased a number of books on Amazon to learn as much as we could about taking care of greyhounds. These books have proved to be a great resource and I would highly recommend them. So today is the day that we're going to take Magnus home with us. Before we do that, we're going to go to the Greyhound kennels one last time, take him for the Sunday walk, and then he'll be back here this afternoon. A bit nervous, but excited. I think we've got the place mostly ready for his arrival, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh, it's a really nice day.
Yes.
Good boy. Good boy. I was like, what is that in my face? Actually, he's probably just looking at the golf course.
Yeah.
What are those weird men with sticks doing?
So Magnus will be coming home with us in a couple of hours, so very exciting day for both Magnus and ourselves. Okay, we're just getting ready for Magnus's arrival. So what we have for him, we've got some blankets in case he makes a mess when he arrives. We've got his new tag. We've got one bed, a little line for him, a little blanket as well. In case he doesn't like that bed, we also bought him a second bed. So we'll see how he likes that one there. And here we have his home. So we'll see how he gets on. He's arriving here momentarily. This is Magnus, he's just arrived. Alison from the Retired Greyhound Trust has just left. He's doing okay, had a little bit of panting, but you're doing reasonably okay, aren't you, Magnus? Because we have spent a few weeks with Magnus now, visiting him every week for an hour walk. But you're doing not bad, aren't you? Hello, you like the phone,
I can't
don't
believe you
you?
only weigh 34 kilograms, Magnus.
34 is quite a lot.
I weigh like 60.
So this is Magnus's first day. He's a bit nervous, so he's been panting a bit, but we've managed to get him to go to his crate happily enough in his bed. And he seems happy enough exploring the house on his own. Magnus is exploring the house right now, checking out all the different areas. He's been quite comfortable, he's not panting too much. Bit of panting, but he's happily going into his crate, which is good.
Some big chompers you got. Very big chompers. Now
The first day with Magnus was all about getting him settled, making him comfortable in his new home. He was panting at first, and one thing we thought I'd do to help him feel more comfortable in his new environment is take him out for a little walk. This will be the first time that he'd been on streets walking. Before this, it was on the walks in the country at the kennels, and before that, just on the racetrack. He did very well at adapting to the pavement and not being too spooked by any cars that drove past. So this was a great sign. He's also very comfortable and loose on the lead. Because it's his first time out in public, we also had him on his muzzle just to make sure he was safe and protected. The second day was hard as we had to do separation training. This meant leaving Magnus in his kennel while we left the room or left the flat. This was very stressful for both Magnus and us, but eventually he settled in and even made a new friend. By the end of the first week, Magnus had completely settled into our home and was very comfortable. So comfortable, in fact, that he'll sleep absolutely anywhere he can, except in the comfy beds that we bought him. He hasn't even touched those once. But he'll sleep anywhere. The hall, the kitchen, against the table, you name it, he'll sleep there. Well, Magnus hopes you enjoyed the video, but he's tired now, and I've got to go to sleep, so bye for now, folks. When we were first thinking of adopting a Greyhound, we were a little unsure of what to feed them, so I made a little video of the diet of our dog, Magnus. So for Magnus's breakfast, he gets chicken, usually 3 pieces of chicken, usually a bit of thigh, and 2 legs. These are frozen. You can also serve it raw as well. We serve it frozen just because it's easy in the mornings, and we serve it to Magnus in his bowl, in his crate, a la breakfast in bed. Another item we give Magnus is the Kong. This is a piece of rubber, you can see here, which they can gnaw at to get the food that's inside. These can be purchased at pet stores, but also on sites like Amazon. We fill ours with peanut butter. This one's no added sugar. This is a Sun Pat. I guess any brand will do, but this one's quite good because you can see here it's suitable for vegetarians and vegans. It's pretty much just peanut butter and a bit of oil and a bit of sea salt, so quite minimal ingredients. So that's what we do. Put it inside the Kong, and then, as I say earlier on TV, stick it in the freezer. Get the drawer open here. It goes hard, and that way it'll last a little bit longer. It takes a bit more work for Magnus to get it out, a bit more exercise, a bit more entertainment, but we have usually 2 in the go at any point in time. We'll have them in the fridge, and we'll give them to Magnus when he wants an occasional treat. Alright, so we've got a bit of marrow here for Magnus as a little treat from the butcher. Cost £1, is that right? So we'll see how he likes it. Seems to be a bit excited about it, so let's see how it goes. So he's chowing down on his marrow. It's the first one he's ever had. We'll see how much he enjoys it. And if there's anything left in 10 minutes. So for the main course for Magnus's dinner, we serve him this product here. It's called Natural Instinct Working Dog. Tonight's flavor is turkey, but also comes in chicken as well. As you can see there, it's basically turkey with bone. Also has some vegetables like carrots in there as well. Comes in a 1 kilogram pack, and on the back it's got some lovely information as far as the size of the dog and how much food they should get. So Magnus gets about half of this container every day. To that, we also supplement it with a little bit of oil, and we also add things like sardines and tomato sauce, or want to mix it up a little bit, we'll do sardines in sunflower oil, but never in brine. With this, we also add things like shredded carrot, broccoli, we'll do cabbage as well. We had also leaves of cauliflower, kale. We'll get the stuff, mix it all together in his bowl, and it looks something a little bit like this. Because of the risk of things like bloat in greyhounds, we serve Magnus's dinner in a raised dog feeding station like so. Keeps it off the ground and prevents him from getting bloat. Again, there's no mess in here. And there you have it. Good as new. Was that good, Magnus? Did you enjoy that? One of the other things that's important is the dental care of our dog. So he does have the bones to chew on, but in addition to this, we also use liver flavored toothpaste to help clean his teeth and some dental sticks. So that's the diet of our dog Magnus. Hope this video helped, and thanks for watching. Let's lie down. You wanna lie down for me? There you go, and he's away. Alright, so this is Magnus here, getting pampered. Magnus has been with us for about 4 months now. It's been a lot of fun, but there's also been a lot of challenges as well. So I thought I'd make a follow-up video to discuss some of the fun things we've done and some of the challenges we've faced. Isn't that right, Magnus? Yes, it is. So, where to begin? By rubbing these more. Okay. Alright, well, first of all, appearance-wise, Magnus has lost a lot of the fur he had. He was very, very furry, had an outdoor coat. He's got a little bit of it here, so you can see it's still quite thick there, but all over here, it's gone. Had some bald patches in the back, which is now grown in, and his tail is completely grown in as far as the fur. Yes, I'll keep rubbing you, Magnus, don't worry. He's doing well as far as some commands in the house, as far as leave it and sit. but it has had some issues with separation. So I'll just go over some of these things in this video. Hope you enjoy it. Hope it's of some use to you. All right. Wow.
Are you filming on my hair?
Yeah. There's a snowstorm of Magnus here. So we're using a little, what's that called, the device?
A rake.
Using a rake to get all Magnus's excess fur off here. Creating a little cloud.
This will be good to get off of him before we take him to your mom and dad.
Yeah.
Ah, he likes that.
Shedding his outdoor coat.
Good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Good boy. Good boy. That's a good boy.
Magnus absolutely loves his food and will always charge the kitchen whenever there is any sounds relating to food. But it's been great to see him try new, different and exciting and fun things. And you never know what he's going to want to eat next. Good as new. Was that good, Magnus? Did you enjoy that? Magnus is eating some cabbage. Magnus is having custard for dessert. It seems to be going down rather well, as the bowl is almost finished. I'm not sure he likes it. In April, Magnus was 5 years old, so for his birthday he asked for a knuckle bone from the butcher, so we had to oblige. Magnus is squaring off with a cat. Come on. Magnus, Magnus, come Magnus, come on. Magnus, come on. And it's gone. Where's it gone? Magnus.
Magnus. It's gone. It's gone. Come on. Come on. Someone's on the hunt. Right? That's it. Wait. Wait. All right, let's go. Come on. Come on. Goodbye. Goodbye. There's a cat there. Let's see if he ignores it. Magnus, come on. Come on. Come on. Magnus, leave it. Come on. Wait. Magnus, come on. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, come on. He's unsure. Come on, huh? Come on. It's alright, come on. Here, let's go to Max. Come on, let's go this way. That's it. Let's go this way. Come on, come on, leave it. Leave it, leave it. Come on, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Well done, goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, don't lick your chops. Come on. Magnus. Come on. Magnus. Magnus. Come on, this way, this way. Nope. Magnus, come on, leave it. Leave it. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Come on. Come on. Not all dogs are fans of Magnus.
One of the biggest challenges we've faced whilst having Magnus is separation anxiety. This affects a lot of dogs, but a lot of greyhounds are kept in pairs whilst racing, and being on his own can be quite challenging for him. He would get very upset when we're gone. There'd be howling, whining, lots of panting. This was obviously very distressing for us, and even more distressing for Magnus. This is something we wanted to take care of as best we could, so we looked online to try and find possible solutions to this problem. One suggestion we came across was to leave on a TV or a radio. We tried this, but it proved to be unsuccessful. One of our tactics we came across was to basically leave and enter the property several times before you depart. That way the dog is not reactive to you leaving and comfortable with you coming and going out of the property. So this is the first thing we did to try and alleviate Magnus' separation anxiety. We would come and go several times. The first couple of times Magnus would go to the door, after that he would stop coming to the door, and we did this probably 10-20 times until Magnus was comfortable with us leaving and exiting without coming to the door. He would stay in his crate and not even move or budge by us coming and going out of the house. So it's something I'd recommend to any people who are out there suffering separation anxiety. It does get a bit repetitive, as you can see in the video, but it was worth pursuing and it did yield good results. But this by itself wasn't enough to cure Magnus of all his separation anxiety. So another thing we had to do is to take him for exercise. We'd go for a long walk before we went anywhere at the weekends, take him for an hour to really tire him out. Obviously you can't do that during a working week, so what we do is we take him for a good half hour, 45-minute stroll before we depart for work, and that has paid dividends. It has been very beneficial and very useful. Another part of our process to try and ease Magnus' separation anxiety is to give him something to do while we're gone. What we do for this is we give him a Kong. We've got this red one here, which is a classic Kong. We've also got one shaped like a dog bone. We fill these up with peanut butter. Any brand will do, but we use one that's got no sugar added to protect his teeth. We stick these, fill them up inside, put it in the freezer, and when it's done, it's frozen solid, which means it lasts a lot longer. And we give these to Magnus just before we depart for work in the morning to try and give him something to do to keep him entertained while we're gone at work until his dog walkers or his daycare arrives. Magnus does enjoy these, and it does keep him entertained for a certain period of time. But this is not a solution just by itself, but it's a good addition to the other steps as well. Lastly, and most recently, one of the things I've found to help Magnus with his separation anxiety is these videos which are on YouTube, which is basically separation anxiety music. Gave them a try, they seem to work quite well. They're various lengths from an hour to 8 hours in length, so you can put a couple of these on while you go out, and it helps calm and ease the nerves of the dog. These work really well for us in conjunction with the Kong toys, the leaving and going practice, and taking him for long walks before we depart. So if your dog is suffering from separation anxiety, these videos may be worth a try. They're definitely beneficial for Magnus, so I do recommend them. Now in the mornings when we leave for work, Magnus is more likely to be found in his basket sleeping than running to the front door and whining. So the training is worthwhile. We're still continuing it until Magnus is completely settled, but it is very beneficial, and we're a lot happier since starting all that training. One thing about owning a dog, which is obvious, is taking it for walks. Luckily we're in Edinburgh, we have all these bike paths which go through lots of the city. This is a great place to take Magnus. He can go for a little bit of smelling the bushes and getting plenty of exercise, so without worrying about cars or other vehicles. So that's been great. Does mean early rises. It's about 6:30 right now, which is fine in the summertime. It's going to be a bit harder in the winter, I think, to get up. But he does really well out in the walks. So it's about 10 o'clock in the evening. There's me and Magnus out for his last toilet stop of the evening. So yeah, nice little stroll. Come on, Magnus. Looking for somewhere to poo. Come on, buddy. Might see some nocturnal animals. Might we? Yeah. So one of the issues we had with Magnus was that unfortunately he cut his paw. This is probably about in the first month that we had Magnus, and late one night, about 10 o'clock in the evening, we noticed that Magnus is limping. And then we check his paw, and we found that there was a cut. So I've got a little photograph of there. So we cleaned out the wound as best we could, and we booked an appointment for him for the vet for the next day. The vet checked him over, looked at his paw, cleaned out the wound, was given some antibiotics and some creams for his foot. So he was kind of out of commission for a week, hobbling, which is a very sad sight. The most he could do was a hobble around the garden to use the bathroom, then hobble back inside. So it was a real challenging time, but we got through it. And I was hoping that would be the only issue we could show you in this video, but yesterday evening when we came home from work, we noticed some blood on a little towel we have in the door for when he comes home from the daycare and dog walking, and we noticed a couple of spots of blood in there, and you guessed it, he'd hurt his foot again. And Magnus is just in recovery mode right now. We've just done a little operation. We pulled this little bit of glass here. Try and focus. There you go. Out of his foot. One of the joys of having. Let's show his foot here. You can see the damage. Let's get some focus. There you go. Yeah, he was very brave. We put it in some warm salt water to soften his foot here. His little scalpel to just remove a piece of glass carefully. He's doing well. But some of the joys of dog ownership. So I think he's still walking on it, so he is doing well, but it's quite a big piece of glass. I think Magnus needs a dentist stick to make him feel better. Would that make you feel better? Yeah. Do I get my dentist stick? And we'll see if he's feeling better. Alright, here's the magic recovery from I don't feel too good to dentist sticks.
Here you go. Here you go. Good boy.
Yeah. He likes to eat these in his crate. There you go. Onto his towel. Well, Mags is back from the vets. Take a look at his foot. Made sure it's all cleaned out. And he's got some antibiotics to take for the next few days. So he's doing well. Put some creams on his feet to make sure his paws are in good nick. I've got some Musher's Secret. We've got some Ucare Skin Balm. So, Magnus is quite a little expert at this these days, so I just want to rub it in his paws and make sure there's nothing else untoward on his feet. So the vet did check him over, but I like to be thorough. He's a very good patient, aren't you, Magnus? Yep. When we first brought Magnus home, it was a real struggle getting him to climb the stairs. He learned quickly, and now he's a bit of an expert and can even do it on his own. Come on. That's a good boy. Come on, Magnus. Come on. Good boy. We want Magnus to be a happy dog, so when he's not sleeping, eating, chilling, or getting pet, we'll work on training.
Good boy, Magnus. Magnus? Magnus? You going? Magnus? Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Good sit, Magnus. Good sit. Well done. You rub your belly for you? You on side? On side? On side? On side? On your side. Come on. On side. Side. That's it. Come on, side. Ah. You know what you really? Come on, side, side. That's a good boy. You're a bit under the You're a bit under the table, you know. Who that there? Who's under the table? All right. All right, sit. All the way. Sit. Magnus, sit. Good boy, good boy. Well done, Magnus. Well done. Good boy, good boy. Yeah. Well done, Magnus. Well done. Good.
Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Magnus, stay. 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 Okay, Magnus, come. Good boy. Good boy.
When we first had Magnus, he used to be very impatient, jumping up and down when we're preparing his dinner. We even had to close the kitchen door. Now he sits happily until the dinner is served.
Stay. 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 Go sit. Stay. Stay. Okay, go on.
You want it? Yeah. Go. Good boy. Go for it. Go. Here you go.
Here, pass it. Pass it. Thanks. Thanks.
Look. Whee. Go for it.
Come get it.
Come get it. Go get it.
One thing, yeah.
Ah.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Go get it. Go get it.
Ah. Go get it. Good boy.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Gonna have it punctured before you've got to play it outside. Didn't you want at least to chase it a bit?
Magnus. Leave it. Down. Leave it. Go. Try again. Try again.
Magnus. Magnus. Magnus.
Good boy. Good boy. This guy's going to sleep shortly.
Well, that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was entertaining and of some use. We'll try and share more of Magnus's adventures as we go. Bye for now. Well, I just thought I'd give you a little update here. We got a phone call about 1:30 that Magnus has been bitten by another dog during his daycare. So very upsetting, very distressing. I'm waiting for him to come back now. He's gone to the vet. He's had some stitches and the daycare people are going to drop him off shortly. So we'll see how he is. They said he's in good spirits, but it's obviously something we didn't want to happen, and it is upsetting. So we'll let you know what happens and how the little fellow is doing. Magnus has just been dropped off. He's feeling very drowsy. He had a general anaesthetic for his surgical procedure, basically sewing up the wound. He's got a little bandage where I guess they put in the IV. He had a tube down his throat, so he's very drowsy right now. But you can see his wound here. They've shaved his skin, and that's where he was basically bitten there. So he's got the stitches in there, so quite severe, but hopefully he'll be better now. You're a good boy, aren't you, Magnus? So instructions from the vet are to give him a light meal, but I'll keep you updated about how he's doing and how he progresses. Well, Magnus is waking up from his general anaesthetic. Just chilling under his pink blanket. So his tennis elbow. Rocking the Wimbledon look. Back on his feet. How you doing, Magnus? That's alright, buddy. I'm not sure if he has to go out for a bathroom break or what. Good boy. Good boy, Magnus. Oh, there you go. Good boy. Watch your head. Good boy. You can see the wound here. Apologies folks, you're not going to see this, but it's quite extreme. It's about 3 inches wide, the square they've cut. But he's doing remarkably well, aren't you, Magnus? Yeah. You're a remarkable little dog. Well, it's been a few days since Magnus had his little procedure. Sorry there was no videos, but just technical difficulties. But you can see he's his usual self, aren't you? Yep. The wound, you can see the stitches have been taken out and it's starting to heal nicely. Still a bit scabby, but he's on the mend, aren't you, bud? Yeah. You're doing well, aren't you? Yep.
taking Magnus out for his last stroll of the evening. It's about 8:30 in the evening. Got his new collar on here, his new martingale. Just a thicker collar so it doesn't slip off his neck, because their necks are usually thicker than their heads and slide off. And also to keep wait. That's clear. Let's go. Oh, we spot the cat. But he's walking on. Well done. Alright, Magnus is doing his business. Because we live in a city, rather than let the stream pollute a nice walkway, we always take a bottle of water with us, and we can just basically hose down his handiwork so it's not going to stain and less offensive. There you go, well done. Goodbye. So, yeah, we don't really like it when you walk on the street and see a dog mess, a whole bunch of dog pee, so we carry a bottle of water out with us whenever we go walking, and that way if it doesn't near someone's doorway or walkway, we can wash it away so it's less offensive. We've also got on here his bags in case he does his business. Alright, Magnus, leave it. Leave it. Bye. Goodbye. Got to try and be responsible dog owners. But Magnus is doing well, recovered from his bite. It's all healing nicely. Still a bit bald, but he's not fazed by it at all. How are you, buddy? No. Our wait. Go. Come on. Goodbye. Right now Magnus is just chilling in his little crate. Just thought I'd make a little video about this crate. Had some questions about it. This is not a prison for Magnus, it's just a safe den for somewhere he can go to sort of get away, relax. Bought it on Gumtree second hand, but what we've got here basically is a crate. We've got a door here. The door, we don't actually lock Magnus in the crate like that. You can lock it, but we don't. We just have it, this door, as a sort of barrier between our bedroom and his den, but he can come and go as freely as he wants to his den. Most of the time he'll sleep in the living room, but he'll rest after meals and just lounge in his den. We've got a little cover on top to give him some privacy, so he can feel a bit safer. He's also got a big duvet. We've got a little towel so he eats his snacks, doesn't make a mess. But that is Magnus's crate. More often than not, Magnus is likely to be found sleeping in his basket on the rug
or on his daybed near the window.
It's about 8:30 at night, taking Magnus out for his last bathroom break of the evening. I got asked the question how often we take him out for peeing. We used to take him out once in the morning. He'll probably pee about 2 or 3 times then. And then he'll go out with daycare. I've peed a number of times there. And then when he comes home from work, or we come home from work, we'll take him out for a short bathroom break. And then just usually this last one in the evening. At weekends, we'll probably take him out once during the afternoon, but he's quite low key on needing bathroom breaks. Come on, guys. He lets us know if he needs to go to the bathroom. He'll usually do a big yawn or follow us quite closely and then go to the front door, so we'll know he wants to go out, but generally he doesn't go out that often. So again, once again, we're out. Got the water bottle in case he does any business on the sidewalk or the pavement. So, smell where other dogs have been. Yeah, Magnus likes to smell where other dogs have been. Come on, Magnus. Come on. Good boy, good boy. Good boy. Again, perfect example here. Someone's property, don't come out the driveway and see that mess there. It's hard to stop him when he goes, so we'll clean this up with my water bottle. I ain't done nothing. Well, Magnus did a lot of bathroom break there. Had to use the whole water bottle in order to wash away his business. You gotta stop, Magnus, wait. Just a little update on his injury there. You can see it's starting to heal nicely. All the stitches are out and it's starting to, fur's starting to come back. So doing well, aren't you, Magnus? 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 What do you see, Magnus? Yeah. What's that? What do you see, huh? We're gonna head back now for our nice little stroll and get a little nap time on his bed. So, say goodnight, Magnus. On our way to the pet store to buy some of Magnus's food for the week. It's chucking it down with rain, so Magnus is wearing his raincoat. He tends not to like the rain very much, and it's a bit objective. And here we are at the pet store to buy food. sure what Magnus was looking at. I thought it was a squirrel, and then we realised it's a fairy. Toweling off after his walk outside. Magnus! Goodbye, goodbye. Let me see your paw. 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 One of the things we do also is wipe his paw down, make sure there's nothing on there. So I've got a little warm, damp cloth. Goodbye. Alright, paw. Paw. He will give it to us in time. Paw. Paw, Magnus. Paw. There you go. Goodbye. Again. Just make sure there's nothing there. That's a goodbye. Well done. Goodbye. Goodbye, Magnus. That's a goodbye. Whilst at the pet store today, we picked up some chicken and lamb, some 2 beef and a black pudding stick for Magnus. This will get him through most of the week. So that's our shopping at the pet store. Right now, I'm inside Magnus's crate. Just fixing his bed. We've just done our laundry of Magnus's duvet and his duvet cover, so just changing it right now, making it all nice and plush for Magnus, so he's got a nice clean place to sleep and to nap. So there you go, all good. All we need now is a Magnus. Just enjoying his nice clean duvet after a little walk to the pet store. This is Magnus's muzzle. This was given to us when we adopted Magnus, just to keep him safe. Magnus isn't a vicious creature. It's not really to stop him attacking other dogs, it's just basically we're trained as greyhounds to chase things such as rabbits, so we don't want chasing after a cat or a squirrel and doing anything. So when we first had Magnus, we'd take him out for walks with the muzzle on. Used it for about a week and then realised that Magnus didn't need the muzzle, so we don't use it ourselves. However, he does wear it when he goes to his daycare, whenever he's out running in the park, and also when he is out with a dog walker, just in case there's some strange dogs and don't get along, that Magnus won't be at fault for anything. So he doesn't wear it very often. He's wearing it less and less at daycare and with dog walking, but it's something you might see a greyhound out and wearing. Again, they're not dangerous, it's just basically got very thin skin and they've got this training to chase small creatures. So don't be scared of any greyhound with a muzzle on. It's nothing to be scared of. But again, this is a muzzle here. In case you're wondering where's Magnus's muzzle and why does he not wear a muzzle, that's the story. Taking Magnus for his evening stroll. He's a bit on the prowl tonight. He's seeing some squirrels and he likes a bit of squirrel action. Alright, 6:30 in the morning, just taking Magnus for a stroll through the park before work. Magnus had a little upset stomach and made a little mess on the rug, so we've got some bicarbonate soda to clean it up. And Magnus is looking interested, but try to keep him off, aren't you? So just sprinkle it in, which will get vacuumed up shortly, which hopefully gives it a smell. Leave it. Due to all the foot injuries Magnus has been getting recently, we've decided to invest in this thing here, the Therapaw. This is basically a shoe which the dog can wear while it heals from its injury. It's got a rubber sole, some padding on the inside, and some Velcro to keep it in place, like a little boot. Unfortunately, this one's a little bit big for Magnus. It's supposed to be a snug fit. This one's a little bit loose, so we're going to get a slightly smaller size, but hopefully this will help Magnus when he does get his foot injuries and help him heal that little bit faster. So that's the Therapaw. It's available on sites like Amazon, costs about £30, but there you go. So we'll see what it's like when we get the one that actually fits Magnus. I'll let him model it for you. So there you go. One of the checks we do in Magnus quite regularly, well, daily almost, is to check the condition of his paws. We've had a few injuries with stuff getting embedded, a bit of glass, a little rock, so we'll check if they're dry. We've got some creams to put on them. Here, let me see your paw. See your paw? Good boy. Good boy. Let's see his front paws. Paw? Come on, that's it. Good boy. Okay, good boy. This one, Magnus, paw. Right, good boy. Well done. Well done, Magnus. Yeah, well done, you. Magnus likes getting his belly rubbed. Puts him in a very relaxed state. Just taking Magnus for an evening stroll after work. Chance to use the bathroom. Get a little exercise. Magnus is squaring off once again. It's a cat. Magnus, leave it. Come on, leave it. Whoops. Come on. Come on, yes. Good boy. Good boy. Nope, he's gone. He's gone. He's not there. Nope, it's not there. Let's cross here. Enjoying the bouquet. Magnus is waiting patiently for his tea, being prepared by the chef. So tonight we're having chicken and lamb with some sardines and a tomato ragu. Is that good, Magnus? Tomato ragu? Magnus, are you excited about tonight's dinner? Adding some green beans on top. They're good in iron and vitamins. Magnus is so bored. Dinner's taking forever, but he is licking his chops. Aren't you, Magnus?
Stay. Good boy. Stay. Stay. Sit. Good boy. That's it. All the way. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Stay. 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 Good boy. Take it. Take it. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
And we'll leave Magnus to finish off his dinner in peace. Missed a bit there. Oops, sorry. Magnus is helping doing the dishes, getting that hard to get off the bottom residue of some leftover toad in the hole.